And we're live.
Hooray!
Yay.
Happy Halloween.
Yay.
Happy Halloween!
Happy Halloween. John, are you excited about the new consoles yet?
No.
Just gonna check in.
I still haven't
Good.
figured out how to get an Xbox Series X yet. Like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't get a pre-order, so am I just gonna have to wait and try to day one order it online or something?
Yeah, I mean, what are you like itching to play on your Series X the day it comes out? Like, what's your hot
Probably Yakuza
Xbox
7.
game? Okay, sure. Yeah, that's right. That's true. That is a launch title. Right on. Yeah, you're gonna have to try and day one it. I know down here, just announced for Black Friday, they are not gonna be selling them the consoles in the store. If you want a new console,
same up here. For Walmart's doing the same thing.
Yeah, which is good because you don't need people lining up, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right on. I'm excited. Less than 2 weeks away. Oh, I'm excited. I have I'm curious, John, what your plan is. Has the size of the PS5 changed how you're gonna have to orient your entertainment shelf?
Yeah, I am trying to figure out how the fuck to fit that in there. The X was already gonna be tricky, but there's a spot
really?
I can put it in.
Okay.
Like my shelf over here is already full, but I can Jenga a bit to make the Series X fit. The PS5 is going to be a problem. There's no way I can have it standing up.
My issue isn't really an issue of is it full or not, because I'm going to remove the current gen consoles and replace them with the new ones. So like I'll have the space, but I have for those keeping track at home, I have like the Calyx shelf, the classic IKEA one. I've got the 2x4, like the squares. Like everyone has this fucking shelf, right? Because it's a great shelf, and that's what I have laying flat under my TV.
Same.
Same.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I've got them around, but yeah.
So the Series X fits in there fine, and you still get like a couple inches on if you above it or beside it if you're laying it sideways. So the Series X is not a problem at all. What I'm actually probably gonna have to do with the Series X is because right now I have these kind of little like divider shelves inside a couple of those to give me kind of two shelves in one square. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna have to remove that and then sit the Series X upright, and then put whatever was on top, which is the Switch, kind of to the side of it. Should be totally fine. The PS5 is too big to fit in those squares.
Yep.
It just cannot fit. Vertical, horizontal. I think my best bet is behind the TV at this point.
Yeah. If I had one, that's what I would have done. So
which is likely what I'm gonna have to do too.
That is absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
So I've got like modular shelves which can be moved up and down.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is all the shelves are full to the brim. I have enough space that I could move stuff around, but I think that thing on its side will take up an entire shelf by itself, while everything else has two things on it.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if I can. I'm gonna get this in for the video watchers.
Sure.
Like here.
Yeah, so you've got some wide shelves, so it would like get its own shelf.
Yeah, but every other shelf has at least two things on it. The widest thing on there is that Sega CD combination.
So, okay, one thing I'm seeing right now, you have a 360 hooked up. You could probably box that up because you got a Series X that is going to play those games.
Yeah.
I mean, I also have an Xbox One X right there.
That's another thing. That one you could probably box away as well.
That's not stopping me. It's not stopping.
I'm just saying, like, you don't. How often do you turn either? Are you going to turn either of those on when you have the Series X?
I turned the 360 on Monday.
Why didn't you just use the one?
Because the game I wanted to play wasn't on the one. I don't believe.
Oh, okay. Well,
actually, it might have been. Hang on.
I don't know. I'm saying that as an easy solution of being able to like put some away in the closet or whatever. But yeah, you do you obviously.
I like having them all set up because I have a bunch of stuff. I have a bunch of stuff on there that's not available on the other one. But yeah, no, the game we play we could have actually done because it's Alice Madness Returns.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if that one hadn't got the
it's on both Series and Xbox One. Yeah,
there you go. And Paul, you said if you were getting the 5, it would go behind the TV.
Yeah, That's what I would do for sure.
Which is a bummer. I almost feel like I'm hiding it. It's like I want to look at this thing I just, spent $500 on.
I guess so.
Oh god, it sounds so much worse when you put it that way.
Well, it's more for you
$500.
guys.
I know.
Because you guys, what is it up there? What are they, 6 something? I'm assuming
600, 650, somewhere in that range. I think 600.
I think it was 500 for the base digital only one on Walmart.ca when I looked. So,
Paul, remind me, are you getting a PS5?
I was looking today and I was just like, maybe I will. Honestly, I just want Demon's Souls, but like I can.
Okay, wait. Yeah, there was a lot of Demon's Souls news today. Kind of comparisons.
There was a new trailer that released or whatever. So
right. And are you looking at the Slim or the disc?
Literally like if they could like break off half of it or something and like give me just the circuitry and not the case for like $10 cheaper, like as cheap as I can get, because
the cheapest one. Okay, so the digital one. I mean, I think that's the way to go, right? Like I just
for
think
me, absolutely, because I'm gonna have like 5 exclusives on it, maybe through its life cycle. Everything else will be PC. So
sure, yeah. I actually had someone talking to me today. They were asking, like, they're like, "Hey, you know games. What should I get for my kid? He's 12." I was telling them the pros and cons. I was like, I would make sure I have something that has access to Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yada yada yada. And then so it kind of turned out like so they're probably going to want a PlayStation. And I thought to myself, when I was 12 and digital wasn't that big a thing, trading games physically was clutch.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I needed that. So I kind of said that's something that like nowadays I don't do that.
Well, I mean,
aside, I
you
just
really would need it because we also had Blockbuster and shit. Like we had other ways you could get a game for not the full price. So these days you definitely need to do that. If you didn't have digital, you would need to trade games.
Yeah. Especially as like kids, they don't have access to as many games as like as a kid, I didn't have access to as many games as I do now. So it's,
yeah.
I'm not trading games that often with people. For the most part, it's like if I really want to play this, like I'll just pick it up. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I don't even know when I'm going to see you next. I'll buy it. Amazon 2 days, whatever. If I need a physical copy. Anyway.
Sure. Yeah. I got you.
Have we talked about Borat 2?
Last week.
Oh my God, Borat 2.
It came out last week. Did we talk? Have we?
No,
we did the show before, so I don't think we talked.
Yeah, it was. I watched it after the show last week.
All right, we should talk about Borat 2.
Should we?
I really enjoyed Borat 2.
Interesting. I thought it was like, for me, I was like, you know what? This would have been a great like 5 YouTube videos, and the rest of the stuff in between that is kind of quote unquote story. I couldn't give less of a shit about.
I thought the jokes were pretty funny. I had just watched Borat 1 and I was in a place where I was like, I don't need more Borat in my life. I don't need to. I think Borat 2 is better than Borat 1. I think it is the satire is way better.
There's definitely more satire and less just it's weird because like Borat 2 definitely feels more written. Like there's jokes written and like there's stuff written about it. Whereas Borat 1 is just
characters.
Like, let's let this guy look like a complete dick for a while or something. There's less of that in Borat.
Then let's look at his dick for a while.
Sure. Yeah.
Then this other guy's dick.
Yeah.
No.
The ending for Borat 2 is actually hilarious.
Yeah, that's a pretty good ending. I was actually kind of curious when movies are going to start like making fun of that. Like when is that going to be like a thing? That was good. I thought the characters were good. I really enjoyed Borat 2. I think that is a good watch. And it's awesome that it just came out on Prime kind of out of nowhere.
Yeah, on Prime for free is definitely the way to watch it. I think I would have been more disappointed if I had paid like $20 for a theater.
Oh, that just reminded me. I went to a movie theater on the weekend.
Oh,
okay. Let me tell you about this. I went to a drive-in movie theater.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
that makes
cool.
sense. Yeah.
You guys.
I was gonna say like what?
Let me tell you this fucking story of that I have been through going to this movie theater.
Okay.
So I had known about a movie theater about 45 minutes away from here for a while. I checked. I was like, I wonder if they have Tenet. Because I really I want to watch Tenet. They had Tenet. TLDR, I saw Tenet.
TLDR, how was it? Is it fine? Is it worth risking COVID for?
Nothing is worth risking COVID for.
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed Tenet. I think if you like Inception, you're gonna like Tenet.
Is it better
If
than
you like
Borat 2?
kind of, those are so
Asking
different.
the hard questions. Asking the hard questions.
I enjoyed watching Tenet more than I enjoyed watching Borat 2, I guess.
Okay.
I mean, I would recommend seeing both if you want to watch two good movies. If you like Inception, you'll like Tenet. If you like trying to figure out like, oh man, how did the filmmakers do this? And you'll love Tenet. If you love kind of behind the scenes stuff of like what were the actors having to do, Tenet is going to be a treat for you. It's just a fun, mind-bending time. So it's the next Inception. It's like Inception 2. Anyway, let me tell you about this drive-in movie theater experience. So my girlfriend had been there in the past. She told me she wasn't able to get in because it gets packed really quick. So we looked on their website, which, by the way, they don't do any kind of online ticket sales. No ticket sales in advance. You got to show up to get your slot.
Sure.
We see on the website, gates open 2 hours before the showing. Our movie's at 9:15. We said, okay, well, let's get there at 7:15. We'll bring the iPad and we'll just watch stuff in the car while we wait for the movie to start.
Sure.
Not a big deal. So we get there around 7:15 or so. We're in line outside. We can see there's two movies already going. They got Monsters Inc. and The War with Grandpa.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a comedy out with Robert De Niro in it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sure it's just great.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, we can see that those are playing. We're in line, slowly moving up. We get to the the box office, the front gate area at about 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
Say, hey, 2 for Tenet. The guy goes, oh, we don't start selling tickets for Tenet until 8:45.
Oh.
Which means in the line we were going,
yeah,
all these people were showing up to watch either Monsters Inc. or War with Grandpa already an hour into the movie.
Honestly, I think that they were there to get out of the house. They weren't there. They could give a shit less about what movie they're seeing.
Just think that was obscene. We were like, what are all these people doing? Why are you wanting to watch the second half of a movie? Right? Anyway, it was like, we were selling at 8:45. You can start lining up early at 8:30. And we're like, all right. So we make a U-turn. We drive out, go across the street. We start watching Netflix. Pretty much the same plan we had. We start seeing people lining up around 8:30. So we get in line. We move up. We get to the ticket at 8:50, and say, hey, 2 for Tenet. Same kid. He says, we're not selling tickets till Tenet until 9. It's like, I was here an hour ago, and you told me 8:45. Oh no, 8:45 is the time for Scream. Which I respond, why would you have told me the time for Scream when I asked for Tenet?
Yeah, he wasn't listening to you. Yeah.
And then so I was like, well, there's 9 minutes until 9. Can you make an exception? I've gone through this line twice now. Let me ask someone. And he asked the guy beside him. He's like, yeah, just do it.
The guy beside him's just like, who fucking cares? Do it. Like,
that's basically what he said.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, go, just do it, man. And the kid's like, all right, if I get in trouble. I was like, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go in. The drive-in was cool because the lot, the ground is like wavy so that your car tilts up to look at the screen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Isn't that cool?
That's neat. Yeah, that's good.
What a cool idea, right? So yeah, and they have a little concessions. You can go in and get your concessions and stuff, and the radio stuff works great.
Okay.
The screen's a little small because it's a little far off. We weren't exactly sure where we should park. We had never been before. We're like, probably don't want to be at the front. I don't know. And then you have the issue of just people's headlights turning on randomly.
Oh, weird.
Kind of like the new, like someone's turning their cell phone on. It's just every now and then 1/3 of the screen will get brighter for a few minutes.
Weird. Huh. Okay.
So that was kind of something. Yeah. And we were wondering, like, they say most cars should be fine to just run their battery for the length of a movie. If you're worried, you can turn the car on every now and then, which that's what I'm assuming people were doing, and that's why headlights were turning on.
Yeah.
They also offer complimentary car jumps if your battery does die.
Okay.
Which I thought that was a pretty cool service to do.
Yep.
But yeah, that was a cool movie experience, and going through those lines twice was insane. But it was worth it. I got to see Tenet.
Nice.
What would you have done if you had gone through all that and then the movie sucked?
It probably would have been fine because I just wanted to see a movie again in some kind of theater-esque setting. Also, like, even if Tenet sucked, I'm still gonna go see the next Christopher Nolan movie, right? Like, even if Pixar puts out a bad movie, I'm going to see the next thing Pixar puts out. Like, those people have earned my attention and whatnot. So neither here nor there. But yes, I enjoyed Tenet. I think Tenet's a good time.
Cool.
All right, let's do the actual podcast. One about video games. This is the top-down perspective for October 29th. I'm Sean Booker.
I'm Paul Fleck.
I'm John Wheeler.
And John, why don't you talk to us about video games?
Okay. I played a lot this past week because I needed some time. I needed some shutdown time. So I finished up Always Legacy officially again because I did the
like 100%.
The unarmed run. Yeah, I did the pacifist run.
Yeah.
Turns out that was more fun than the main playthrough.
Oh no. Okay. Well, that's
because I knew the map, so it went faster. And honestly, one of my gripes was kind of the combat, so it kind of fixed that by not having it anymore.
Sure.
The only downside to it was if you did accidentally swing and kill someone, like it marked it on your save immediately. So you had to start the entire playthrough over again if you did, or if you were sensible like I did, you just copied your save file before it happened. So just pick apart, stop for a bit, copy your save, continue, which is good because it happened once by accident.
Oh no.
Because I was just so your bubbles can attack, and I accidentally popped one at the wrong time, and it killed a random enemy when I was trying to figure out something, and I was just like, oh shit. So thank God I've been doing that backup, or I would have had to redo a couple hours of gameplay, which would have been infuriating.
Yeah.
Other than that, we played Earth Defense Force for the arcade because I was just in the mood for a brainless shmup, and that was indeed a brainless shmup. But it's a brainless shmup that very clearly wanted your money if you were playing it in an arcade because your ship moved slower than most bullets, so it was really hard to dodge things. You don't get enough power to take out things fast enough, despite there being a lot of power-ups in the game. You basically, every time you kill, it adds to a meter, and then you level up your ship that way. You have 4 different types of shots you can pick, and every time you level up, you also gain a new way to move around your ship's options. So you can either put them on the front of your ship so your main attack is bigger. You can have it circling around you for defense and for spreading out your shots. You can have it chase enemies around for you so you can focus on dodging, but they're weaker shots. Just a bunch of things like that. It was interesting, but yeah, it was I can't really recommend it unless you're just really into shmups and just got to play everything.
Okay. Interesting.
Kirby Fighters 2, I am done with. Not actually, but I'm sick of it.
Okay.
Nice.
You're done climbing the tower?
Yeah, it sucks, dude. It really sucks. Matches take forever, and they keep adding more and more. And then once you've finished the story mode, they unlock the final chapter, and the final chapter is 50 matches in a row, and you are allowed to fail 3 times, period.
Ugh.
Man, they advertise it as you're going to fight some Kirbys. So you better be ready to fight some Kirbys. You
fight a lot of Kirbys. So many Kirbys.
A lot of Kirby to fight.
It's really infuriating. It's awful. I can't recommend that. If you're going to get it, don't get it for single player, even though it's the fastest way to unlock shit, which is infuriating.
No,
it's a Smash Bros. I wouldn't recommend getting Smash Bros. For single player.
Well, no, but Smash Brothers unlocks things way better and way faster than that does. It's bad. Sure. It's just the final tower, it just drags on so much. And then the enemies scale so fast and so high that you just can't keep up with either the damage output and your AI partner will either be brilliant or dumb as a bag of bricks.
Classic.
Because
Sounds fun.
he tends to not know about the map obstacles, the things that do the most damage. So you'll go in with full health, and then suddenly he'll die in like 10 seconds. So you're by yourself, and they're doing so much damage you can't keep up. It's not worth the time investment, because each match can take anywhere from like 15 seconds to 2 minutes, and then you have to do that 50 times. It's just not worth it. And then they have the shittiest thing is halfway through you have to fight a shadow Kirby, so it's like specifically a boss Kirby, so he gets the full boss health meter instead of like the normal health meter, but he can still heal and use all items like all other Kirbys, so it's just a even more aggravating Kirby fight. And if time runs out, which it almost did in one run, I literally killed him on 1 second,
Man.
you get to do it all over again. So no, I really can't recommend that single player mode. Maybe with a second player, because you can do that, but it's bad.
Sometimes you just gotta say no thank you to a game and part ways with it forever.
And that's pretty much what I did. As soon as that happened, I'm like, nope, that's it. I'm out. Not having fun anymore.
I'm an adult man. I don't have to put up with this.
Cat Quest. I started playing Cat Quest and finished Cat Quest.
I like Cat Quest. Those games are fun.
Cat Quest is fun. Did you play the sequel?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
This is
I played this on iOS, and the sequel was a Apple Arcade launch title.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So Cat Quest 1 was pretty fun. For those who don't know what it is, you play as a cat who is a dragonborn. Is that what they call it? Dragon blood.
Something like that.
Yeah. So you have the power to fight dragons. So you have to level up by running around this map, and like it's all the overworld map is where everything takes place. And you run around fighting monsters, finding treasures and stuff like that. And you get the ability to walk on water and fly, and you fight other dragons, and you do so many side quests.
Yeah.
It's like a simplified RPG, but like it's pretty good. There's a lot of good cat puns.
Yeah, it is a simplified action RPG with so many cat puns.
Mm-hmm.
And it works surprisingly well with touch controls. Like that is a quality iOS game.
It's pretty simple on Switch. It works good. Although I'm a bit nervous because playing it with the Joy-Cons, I had Joy-Con drift, which I've never had before with those Joy-Cons, and didn't have with any other game I played.
Oh,
Maybe it's just starting?
I don't know. It was just weird that it was specifically only happening with one Joy-Con during that game.
Yeah.
And it was only when I was using the stick. When I just used the D-pad, like it didn't keep drifting. Like it actually stayed in place. So I'm confused what was going on there.
Maybe
that was
an
fun.
artifact from like the mobile roots or something. Like just some weird momentum.
Maybe. But yeah, no, I beat that game, and then it unlocks Mew game is what they call it,
Nice.
where you can put modifiers on your game, but the only reward you get is more armor for the game you've already beaten.
Sure.
So it's super pointless to do and not worth it. So I'm just like, yep, nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
I liked you, but didn't like you that much.
I played 2.
Not enough to play through the entire game yet. I haven't picked it up yet. I don't think I have Cat Quest 2 yet.
Okay.
I think that one has co-op.
They added dogs.
They did add dogs, and I think you can do co-op with Reese if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'll think about it. Yeah, because the thumbnail for it shows the 2 main heroes.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, they mentioned the dogs a bunch in the first game, so I guess they did that with the second one.
Yeah.
And then they add dog puns.
True. There's dog puns.
Yep. Yeah, so that was that. Otherwise, I played Night Slashers. I just wanted another brainless game to play, so I picked a weird Data East beat 'em up that's on the Switch.
Okay.
It's you play as one of 3 monster killers. You either play as an American named Jake, who literally has an American flag on his chest and cybernetic arms that shoot electricity. You play as Christopher, who basically is a mix. He's like a kickboxer, but also like dressed in like a snappy suit, like a weight staff, and he kills people with like magic and also like sharp kicks and like magical gems. And then there is I forget her name, but she's the quick character who uses a bunch of martial art magic and stuff like that. So it's just, your standard like 90s arcade beat 'em up.
Hell
With
yeah.
a lot of gory zombies and with like really, really out there, just like goofy presentation. So it was fun.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then the last thing I played was Part-Time UFO, which is a mobile game that HAL released, I think like a year or two ago. And then they
I think it was longer than that.
Yeah, but they put it on the Switch like yesterday after the Nintendo Direct Mini.
I love Part-Time UFO,
Isn't this game
man.
free on phones?
I
think so.
don't think so.
Yeah, so I was when I looked up the
check.
price of this, and it was like $9, which is also just a weird price, and that's American. And I was a little surprised because I'm pretty sure this game is free on phones.
$4.
Oh, maybe I'm misremembering.
$4 on Android, anyways. And yeah, it came out 2018. It looks like.
I thought it was way older than that. I wonder if I paid for this.
Yeah, the game is super cute. You play as a little UFO who works part-time jobs. You have a crane that you drop down from the bottom of you. And you have to lift up things and kind of put them in place. But obviously, there's like swaying physics to it. You have to get used to like winds and stuff like that. Other things trying to hit you. You have a time limit if you want to get like all these extra missions done, and they're all like really quirky missions. Like, hey, make a cheerleader pyramid.
I love that one. Yep.
Yeah, put away all these toys. Catch a bunch of fish. Like they're all like silly, fun missions.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack is really catchy, but it's also got like these little like, I don't know how to describe it, like squishy sounding singers who keep singing Part-Time UFO to the background of all the songs.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
Yeah. It sounds like the sound you make when you're saying chubby bunny, kind of like that. I don't know how else to describe it. But it's very adorable. You can buy costumes in-game with the in-game currency that you get from doing all the missions. And they'll change how your ship works a little bit, or they'll just be fun cosmetic things. Honestly, it's really fun.
Yeah.
It's fun for like a simple game. So if you want something just a little physics-based, simple platforming, or not platforming, simple like stacking game or like simple crane game, it's honestly a pretty good recommendation.
Yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, it had both like traditional controls or gyro controls. Is that the case here again?
That I don't know. I've only been playing it in table and TV mode.
Okay, so with traditional controls. Am I remembering correctly, Paul, that it had gyro controls?
I want to say yes, but I don't remember. For sure.
I don't remember either. I didn't play that game very long.
Oh, really? I like it.
It's not even that long from what I can see.
Yeah, a few hours. Not too bad.
Yeah, I don't see anything about the controls.
Game's cute. It's a cute game.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
All right, yeah. I'm going to talk about Pokemon. Pokemon came out with new DLC last week, and I played a bunch of it because it's very good.
Yeah, I heard good things about it.
I was pleasantly surprised because the last piece of DLC was a bummer in terms of how much grinding I was going to be up against. So I'm basically using this DLC to do a bunch of the grinding required for what was the last one? I'm sure someone in chat will tell me. The new one is called Crown Tundra, though. And there's kind of a few different aspects to this. First off, they've introduced raid battle adventures or raid adventures or something like that. Isle of Armor is the name of the first DLC that I got stuck with. Thank you. Raid adventures, or whatever the name of that one is they basically take the raid system, which is where 4 people, whether it's you and 3 AI or 4 human players, battle a giant Pokemon. And if you beat it, you can catch it for like easily. Dynamax Adventures is the name. Okay, yeah, I'm not internalizing all these names, as you can tell. But what they do with the adventure system is, instead of just fighting one Pokemon and you're done, they make you fight through a little cave, and it's kind of just like a like a flow chart. Do you want to do the left or right? And it'll give you what type of Pokemon you're going to fight, like a grass one or a dark one. And they'll be foggy, so you can kind of make out which Pokemon it is. You can kind of can't. And you have to do that like 3 or 4 times until at the end you will fight a legendary Pokemon. And all you know is the type it is. So you can kind of whittle it down like, oh, well, if it's fire, it could be like a Moltres, it could be an Entei. You'll kind of have a little bit of that. You can also say specifically, hey, I know the path to this one. You will guarantee to get that. And the way you can get that is some of the time is random. If you team up with someone who got it randomly some way, then you can kind of guarantee it. So there is some kind of like working together if you wanted to. You also like rent a Pokemon while you're doing this, and then any of the Pokemon you catch along the way, including that legendary one at the end, you're allowed to take one of them back. You're most likely going to take that legendary Pokemon unless you already have it. Then maybe you got lucky and you came across a different Pokemon that you did want. You could take that one as well. So that's one aspect of it. Then there's the story mode, which that is broken up into 3 parts, and they do this fun little goofy title sequence every time it pops up, which is fun. But the 3 things you're going for in the story, the first one involves around this new Pokemon. I think I might be pronouncing it wrong. Calyrex. Anyway, it's this weird little alien dude that has a deer face that also sits on top of a horse Pokemon. They're like 2 Pokemon that are bound together to be one Pokemon, which is kind of odd to me.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that really works. But then again, I guess Diglett is a real thing, and there's all and Execute, and how does that stuff? I don't know. Anyway, they work independently. Also, isn't it just kind of weird to catch a Pokemon that is actually sentient? Because this thing talks to you. Like, isn't it kind of weird putting a Mewtwo in a Pokeball? That thing can have full conversations.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, that's super weird. Anyway,
isn't that the thing with Rotom as well?
I guess that's another one. Yeah, there's maybe a few of them. I guess like Mr. Mime is clearly pretty intelligent.
But he's not going to talk. He's not a squealer.
True.
That's true. You're right. Anyway, so one is about talking to Calyrex, and you go on this little quest for Calyrex, and you can eventually catch Calyrex. The other one is finding all the Reggie, however you pronounce it, Pokemon, and you can catch each of those, and get almost every single one of them. Although there is one that has 2 forms, and you can only get one of them, so you have to like trade, get that other one, and you need all 5 to get the last one. So I'm kind of stuck. I can't get that last one because I only have the 1 form. And then there's also the 3 original legendary birds are back with new forms, and they look real cool. And they're flying around the area in all the wild areas. One is in the Crown Tundra's wild area. One is in the Isle of Armor's wild area. And another is in the original games, like Pokemon Sword and Shield original game. I mean, that one's wild area. So you need to kind of go outside of the DLC to find all of those. So there's a bunch to do. The wild area is pretty good, and it's pretty big, which is really nice to see. But there's actually even more than that, because there's this whole system of like following all these tracks, which actually kind of sucks to do because you have to find 50 tracks. Luckily, there's more than 50, and they're pretty close together, but still, you got to find 50 tracks. And that gets you like deerish kind of looking Pokemon from, I don't even remember. There's so many
like
Pokemon.
Stantler?
No, that's not. It's a legendary one. We're talking legendaries. They put all the legendaries in this DLC. That's kind of the big takeaway here. Well,
the deer one's from X and Y, so
it's not those ones. I think they might be from Black and White. Someone just said one of them. There's like 3 of them. Maybe they're not deer. I'm assuming they're not dogs because there's already the 3 dogs. There's a lot of Pokemon. Did you guys know there's a lot of Pokemon?
Yeah.
News to me.
Yeah. There you go. Someone in the chat just said them. Terrakion, Virizion, and Cobalion. You guys didn't remember those 3?
I've never heard of them.
You did a great job of describing them.
I've never heard of them.
Anyway, it's just kind of cool that you have access to all these legendaries. And what's really nice is when you're battling them, if you accidentally kill them, because it's really easy to do, they're not just gone forever. You can just battle them again to try and catch them. That's just great. That's really nice because I don't have all this time in the world
Yeah.
to keep turning my game on and off like I had to do in the past. So Crown Tundra is really cool, and I'm slowly leveling up this Cub Fu I got from Isle of Armor. And then I'm going to go back and play Isle of Armor. But Isle of Armor was just a bummer because I hit such a wall. There's no walls in Crown Tundra. So yeah, that's cool. And the raid adventures, I didn't think I would really be into that, but kind of just playing online with randos who are sometimes idiots, like going down the path. They're like, yo, guys, we have most likely a Moltres at the end of this. We at least know it's a fire type. Why do you keep picking to fight grass types? Like, we're going to end up getting there, and you can't heal your Pokemon unless you have like a healing move. So at some points, you do have to swap them out for these other tiered Pokemon that you're fighting beforehand so that you have a fully healthy Pokemon. It's like, by the end of this, we're all going to have grass types. Stop picking a grass type. We're about to fight a fire type. Like, all I'm assuming is it's a lot of people being like, oh, I like dragon Pokemon, so we're going to keep going after dragon. But dragon's not good against everything. Sometimes you got to pick a water type. I know we can all tell it's a Starmie. Who doesn't have a Starmie? But we're about to fight a Moltres. A Starmie is going to be real helpful, guys. And clearly, don't you want the Moltres? I don't know. But there's no way to talk to these people because it's a Nintendo game.
Yeah. Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no,
Anyway,
it sounds
I hope
cool.
they do. Yeah, it is cool. I hope they do more DLC. I hope they don't just stop here, but I'm assuming they're just going to put out like a re-release of Diamond and Pearl or something and then forget about this game.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I liked Diamond and Pearl. I like Crown Tundra. That's a cool one. I played a couple other games. Real briefly, I played some Scourgebringer. That game is cool. I'm not in the mood for another roguelite right now. I don't want to invest all that time into another roguelite right now. But that's a cool game, and it's on Game Pass. So if you have Game Pass, I would recommend playing some Scourgebringer.
Sure.
Especially if you like really fast action, like you can attack in the air, so you stay in the air, so you never have to touch the ground. Too. Like some real fun kind of platforming stuff. Scourgebringer is a cool game. I'm not in that mood right now.
Sure.
A game I'd like to talk a little bit more about is Carto, which just came out. This was like a Humble published game, which I kind of forgot they were still publishing games. This game is really cool. The aesthetics are really nice. Everything looks like it was like hand painted. Really nice aesthetics, and it's a puzzle game where the world is set up on a grid, and you have access to the square that you're in or other squares you've found. But when you hit Y, you can see everything you've had access to, and you can pick up each square, move it wherever you want, and rotate it. So it's basically being like, okay, I'll tell you a puzzle I just did. I was walking through the forest, maybe 2 squares of forest-looking squares, and I come across an owl that drew a circle in the ground. I opened up my map, and I realized, the past few squares all had like a corner of a river that was going from one corner or one side of the square to another side. So it's like 25% of a circle. Yeah. So if I pick up all the places I just been, rotate them around and make a circle, then a new person pops up in the middle of that circle. Right. Now I can proceed. It's really cool. Like all the puzzles are like that. You're constantly having to pick stuff, moving around. Like you walk from one square, pick up the one behind it, rotate it, put it in front of you. They do a bunch of interesting stuff with that. All the while doing this kind of cutesy game where you're kind of exploring the world. You fell off like an airship and yada, yada, yada. I would recommend it. It's something kind of unique that I haven't seen before. And actually just before this, I was playing it through the Xbox app, the Xbox app's new update where you can remote play on your iOS device.
Okay.
So what that does is I had my iPad set up Bluetooth to an Xbox One controller. I was playing my Xbox, worked perfect, like almost perfect. The one issue, the audio was kind of crackly.
Cool.
That was really cool. Near the end of my game, the graphics started going super bananas, as if you were watching like a Netflix show and the bit rate like just dropped, and it's getting all deteriorated looking. It turned into that for a little bit. I don't know what caused that, but up until that point, it was running fine, no lag whatsoever. And for a puzzle game, that's totally going to be fine for me. So that is just cool. I had a lot of trouble getting it set up, and I finally did get it set up. The one issue that did not work, I can't open the guide for some reason. Which means I can't switch games after I go into a game. Also means I can't turn the Xbox off. I can't hold down the Xbox button and have the overlay to turn the system off. Which that's what you have to do. You can't just like navigate away from the app, because it'll leave your Xbox on, because your Xbox does actually physically turn on. So you have to turn it off through the app. So that's why I had to get up just before a thing to go turn something off in the other room was my Xbox. From what I understand, that's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to be able to use the guide. I don't know why you wouldn't. You're literally just kind of remoting into it, but I couldn't get the Xbox button to work for me. It was kind of cool anyway.
Cool.
Great. That's all I've been playing. What about you, Paul?
This is going to be pretty short. You playing Ghost of Tsushima made me to jump back into it.
Oh yeah.
It's impossible to say where I am because I'm doing literally everything on the map as I move towards things. I'm about 10 hours in, and I've done.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Which act are you in?
I'm still in Act 1. Like, I'm not kidding. I'm literally doing everything that this game has.
I get it. I totally get it. I did a lot of the stuff too, but
huge.
Narrows it down a bit. It gets so much bigger. Like the map gets so much bigger.
Well, this is only like part 1 of 3 or 4, right? Of the map, just in general. So
guesses there's 3 acts based on kind of how the map looks.
Yeah, sure, that makes sense. That game is totally fun, but I still like it is an open world game. I have to be in the mood for an open world game, and then I pick at it, and then when I do, I absolutely love it. But I'm not in any rush to get it done.
One thing I do kind of like about, to kind of go against that whole open world aspect of it, is the story missions are usually really cool. Something like pretty like enjoyable and narrative heavy really happens in those missions. So it's kind of a nice pace from doing the kind of open world, just yada yada yada, side quest, and then boom, oh, here is a narrative focused ass thing you can do right now, and it's going to be cinematic as hell. And those are cool.
I just want more fox dens. They're so cute.
Yeah, they're everywhere, man. You can pet the fox.
Gotta pet the fox. So yeah, back into that. The other thing, I guess, this week is that Rainbow Six Siege has its Halloween event going on as of a couple days ago, as of Tuesday of this week, called Sugar Fright? Something like that? Yeah, Sugar Fright. And this is, as was rumored and guessed a few weeks ago, this is a Muppet-based thing where one of the operators ate too much candy and fell asleep and is having a nightmare, and the nightmare is a game of 5v5 Muppets of the different operators killing each other on a new map to steal their candy and gain points. What this means realistically is this is kill confirmed mode from Call of Duty in Siege, which means it's terrible because Siege has no run and gun. Siege's gunplay is not set up for fast action like this is. And the things that make Siege pop, which are the attacking and defending thing, don't exist at all. There's only 4 or 5 different operators you can choose from on either side, and it doesn't matter anyways because you don't use their gadgets at all, and they're all given the same loadout of guns between 3 different assault rifles, 2 different pistols, and grenades. So it is literally just a completely stripped down bad Call of Duty mode in Siege.
I'm assuming because there's only 5 characters to pick from, that this kind of solved the problem. But they've done similar stuff to like this with Apex, where they try and put a different game style in there.
Yeah.
In those ones they didn't limit which characters you can play as, so it just kind of is like, well, this character's ult doesn't really do much if you don't have a team, so no one's really going to play this one. Sure. Is that kind of present, or is it, you said they took away all their abilities, right?
Yeah, the only reason you pick a character now in this mode is because you like how they look as a Muppet.
Okay, there's no difference between them
at all. No. Sure. Down to the gun choices, it's literally the same choices of guns. for all of them.
Yeah.
So the Muppet looking stuff is very awesome, and I love it. The game mode is fucking trash, and I'm done with it after an hour or two.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's just a Halloween event. Like, it's not. Okay,
Their other Halloween events were okay, though. This is just bad.
Okay. Yeah.
So, it's a bummer.
Better than no Halloween event, though, right?
Yeah, kind of. I also kind of enjoy that they went the different way, because last year they had their like skins and stuff for Halloween were kind of disgusting and disturbing and weird and stuff. This year, like, I kind of like that they went the other way, where it's like they're Muppets, and it's still creepy because they're just like these weird dead eyes looking at you, and they have guns and shit, but they're also kind of cute, and I kind of like it. That's all I've been playing.
All right, let's do some news. Some stuff happened. Paul, why don't you start off with what you put in here?
Yeah, Cyberpunk was delayed again, so they pushed it back until December now. This is the 4th delay since they said they were going to launch this game back in April of this year. Yeah.
Those poor developers must be like literal skeletons chained to their desks at this point, right?
This is a weird thing too, because the reason why it's delayed isn't because the game isn't done. On the contrary, it's ready to go on PC. It's because they have, like, I think they said 12 versions of this that they have to, like, patch for every different iteration of it.
Yeah, I guess that would make sense at this point, because there's a few versions for each console and everything now.
Yeah,
it's going to be even more with the next gen, with the next ones and whatnot. I did also add to this one some more context. That during a conference call, the CEO stated that the PC version of 2077 is ready and that it plays well on next gen systems too. The company is currently focusing on polishing current gen versions. I wonder if the game just kind of became so much that they're just having a hard time reining it in.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep, 100%. Also, I misspoke. 9 versions of it. So Xbox One/X, compatibility for Xbox Series S and X, PlayStation 4 and Pro, compatibility with 5, PC, Stadia. Yeah, so they have their work cut out.
That's 9. I was counting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
You would think the Stadia one would be pretty similar to whatever the highest end one is.
Just a PC version one, that I would think, yeah.
I would think it's even better because they have all the power in the world. Like, they don't have to be restrained by like any of what you have, right?
Well, I mean, they just have to put it on a whatever server Stadia runs from.
Inside of Google's giant server. Like, that was the promise of Stadia, is we're going to give you the best of the best because we're Google. Look at the power we have.
I bet they have to do some certain different things so that it works better with netcode, though.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm sure there's work on all of this.
Do you have the new date up, by the way?
The new date is December 10th. Yes.
Is that the same day as Phoenix Rising?
No,
or is
December 3rd.
December 3rd.
Third week before.
All right. I guess that's the Christmas game, right? Like,
yeah,
I guess now, yeah.
That's the game you play over Christmas break.
So other things to do with this, this Cyberpunk is no longer considered for the Game Awards at all. So Jeff Keighley said that that's not going to be part of it at all anymore.
He said that was the same with Smash Bros.
Yeah. So it'll be next year's Game of the Year, on the next year's Game of the Year.
Yeah. Makes sense. I mean, especially with all COVID, they're planning have to plan so far in advance for having a show, which I know they're planning to do. I think they have a date already. I don't have it on the top of my head.
Also, it's brought up the fact that even though they're pushing it back, it's not relieving crunch period. In fact, it's making it worse for a lot of them. So
for sure.
It's brought that into more light, I would say. There's people writing more and more about how Cyberpunk is becoming this giant thing that, like, it's kind of maybe ruining some lives right now until it's out.
Right. I mean, that's the thing that is the same with every game. Anytime something gets delayed, it's never so they can stop crunching. It's so they can continue to crunch to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish it was the other way around. I wish it was like, we're going to take 6 months so that our employees can have family time as well as create a game that's good. but it's never that.
Yeah, I mean, if it was the other way around, they would say it, and I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
we have heard a couple times. Like, was that the case with Animal Crossing? With that delay, didn't they come out and say so we don't have to crunch?
Yeah.
I can't. Yeah, I think there was
Okay,
another
good for
one.
them.
Because yeah, why would you not champion that if you could?
Totally.
So.
Yep. Totally. Okay, so I'll just say the ones that I grabbed are basically from the Discord, so a lot of these are pretty much the community ones, which is why you'll understand why I wouldn't grab this one, because I don't care. But there's a free software update for Super Mario 3D All-Stars coming where you can invert the camera controls.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I appreciate that, but I can definitely see. Yeah.
I mean, I don't have the game. That's why I don't care about it. So, but I mean, yeah, no, definitely add more options like that. That's super good. Also, it is free. I feel weird that I even have to say that, but it is a free update. This one, the next one,
if it wasn't
right. The next one is the Nintendo Direct Mini Happen partner showcase for October. I watched this before we went live, so this is very fresh in my mind.
I played one of these before we went live, but let's go through it.
Yeah, so this article specifically doesn't have them really in order, but I'll try to do it as best as possible. It started off with Bravely Default 2.
Yeah, coming out February 26th. I thought the voice acting sounded bad. Like, I was surprised how bad
that's
it
on
sounded.
par. That's on par with Bravely Default, I feel.
Yes, I don't remember,
Maybe.
but I was also probably playing those games with the volume off.
Yeah, I think this was one of your train games, so
Sure it was.
That makes sense.
But it sounded so bad.
So
anyway,
I kind of like how this game looked. Honestly, I think it looks.
Did you
cute.
play any of the Bravely games before?
No, none of them.
They've got good aspects to them. There's some bad about them, but like the core gameplay is solid.
Yeah,
and they're always like separate and distinct, so you probably could play two. I don't. Is it an actual sequel? Like story-wise?
So far, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, so I mean, if you wanted to jump in, you probably are totally fine. I for whatever reason, these games are so forgettable for me. Like, I've played through both the last two, and I couldn't really tell you anything that happens in those games.
Sure.
I remember Bravely Default very clearly. Bravely Second, I never finished. But like,
I finished both of them. I can remember Bravely Default's ending, like the twist on it a bit, but even that, I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what it was about it. I remember it had a twist. I can tell you that.
Also, the old Harvest Moon games, now known as Story of Seasons, that new farming sim series, that they showed a little bit of the Switch version coming out in March next year. Pioneers of Olive or something. Yeah, Pioneers
Island.
of
Olive is the place. Wait, this line here, the latest in the farming sim series previously known as Harvest Moon. Do they not make Harvest Moon games anymore? Did they like change the name?
So here's the thing. This is the complicated thing about Harvest Moon. The original games in Japan were known as Story of Seasons Harvest Moon. That was the original game. And then that was developed by original team. The first couple games we got over here, like the GameCube ones, the Game Boy Advance ones, those were all the same Harvest Moon lines. And then somewhere along the way, the license got moved to a different company in North America. So the games, as a result, changed their name because Natsume wanted to keep the original title of Harvest Moon. So the games that are now known as Harvest Moon, after I think DS onwards, are a different series, and the games known as Story of Seasons are done by the original Harvest Moon guys. They're just a different name. They also made Rune Factory. So Rune Factory
but it's
and
the
Story
same
of Seasons,
style of game and genre.
Yeah.
It's literally just they have a different name.
Yeah,
it's really stupid, complicated.
Yep,
that is weird.
They showed Immortals: Phoenix Rising running on Switch. Looked fine. That art style.
People not really kind of chomping at the bit for that one after the Stadia demo.
I heard the stadia demo is good. I also hear that stadia demo is like 4 hours long. Like it's a sizable chunk.
Oh, interesting.
I'm looking
But
forward to that game.
yeah, that art style lends itself well to running on Switch hardware, so it looks fine.
Yep.
It looks fine, even though like it's obviously a little less powerful. It still looked pretty good. No More Heroes 3 coming sometime next year. I guess the big news here is No More Heroes 1 and 2 are available on Switch now.
Yeah.
So you can pick those up and get ready for No More Heroes 3.
Hell yeah.
Then
so excited to see No More Heroes 2 off of the Wii finally.
Fair enough. Then they showed some cloud gaming stuff. Hitman 3 is going to be coming to Switch because of cloud gaming, the cloud version, in January when the game comes out. Also, and this is the one that baffles me, but whatever, Control is coming to the Switch.
Yeah, this is what I played. You can play it for free for 5 minutes. So I was like, why? I want to see how well this works. Which they've done this before, right? Didn't Resident Evil, they do this in like Japan?
Yeah, Resident Evil, PSO2,
7?
I think, has a version that's like this on Switch.
Yeah, no, I downloaded this and tried it out, and it ran totally fine.
How does it look, though?
It looks fine. Like nothing is like the lighting isn't as great, obviously, and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I thought it looked fine. Like I wasn't like, this is ugly.
My only real gripe with it is just like having to always play it on a net connection, and I feel like the Switch's online net connection not always the best.
I mean, I was just playing it in my apartment, so that was fine. If you're not gonna be taking your Switch all over the place, if you primarily play it docked, what's the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, even docked sometimes it has issues, so that's why I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this was totally fine. I never had any kind of network thing pop up or whatever saying anything was wrong. No lag whatsoever. No weird artifacting, and totally fine for me.
Sure.
Okay.
From the little bit of video, I think it looked ugly as fuck, but that's fine. Then there's their weird little, these are games that are coming to Switch, and it showed like a little bit of a few games. Tropico 6, Surviving the Aftermath, and maybe most importantly for me, Griftlands is the one that I think I would like to play on Switch, because, yeah.
Sure.
I'd like to jump back
Time
into that
UFO
game.
was shown there.
Part-Time UFO was the second to last game they showed. I like Part-Time UFO. Knowing that it's $10 is a little hard to swallow for me, but I would do it, I guess, if I wanted to play it. That's a cute little game. And then
I'm playing it right now.
And then the final thing is Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity come in next month, and there is a demo now that you can...
And your progress carries over from the demo. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
So that is
Someone just send me like the spark notes of what story stuff happens, so, and then I'm good.
Sure. Fair enough.
Well, I've got news. There's this calamity.
Okay.
It's in fact the age of it.
Next up, you remember a couple of years back there was this whole kerfuffle about our loot boxes, gambling mechanics, and then I think it was just last year, EA went to court saying their surprise mechanics, because they are getting in trouble from the Dutch court about their unlawful use of gambling stuff in a product for kids, basically. Or as they say here, violating the country's Betting and Gaming Act. The KSA believes it's crucial to shield vulnerable groups such as minors from exposure to gambling. They support the strict separation between gaming and gambling, blah, blah, blah. Well, the courts ruled in the favor for the KSA, and EA is fined 10 million euros over loot box stuff, specifically for FIFA.
All right.
Say 10 million euros?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they've made way more than that from FIFA alone. So this is probably just like, well.
They probably made 10 million euros from that kid that stole. There's actually a few, but there's all these stories of kids stealing their parents' credit cards and buying like literal thousands worth of dollars of FIFA shit specifically. So yeah, man, weird shit, but
FIFA's a hell of a drug.
FIFA is hell of a drug. That's true.
FIFA's a gateway drug.
It is. That's true.
Yep.
I just thought this was funny. Somebody sent this to me. There is an Xbox fridge that you could buy.
I think this is incredible. This is brilliant marketing, by the way.
I think the weird green glow when you turn it on is gross, and that would make every bit of food look bad.
Yeah.
I do like that there's an Xbox in the fridge.
Yeah.
And the choice, what they've branded a lot of the food stuff with were fun callbacks. You know, they had the Gears of War tomatoes, and then you hear Marcus say his tomato line. So much Monster Energy drink in here.
Yeah. It's because it's green. Gotta stay on brand.
Yeah. Every morning I wake up and I pound 2 Monsters and a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
For my morning meeting.
God.
You have to put the Xbox in the fridge because it's overheating. Yeah, everybody that buys an Xbox will be given a fridge to cool it appropriately. Devil May Cry 5's Virgil DLC, for people that are not going to get it on the next-gen systems as part of the special edition of DMC 5, will be getting it December 15th for about $5.
That's not bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
That was like my biggest concern was like, all right, are we not getting the that?
Yeah, we're just getting it about a month later or so, a little less than a month later.
That's not that bad. That's
not
that bad.
Following the trend of people leaving Blizzard because apparently Blizzard is garbage for people, I guess now. David Kosak, who is one of the big writers on Warcraft stuff, specifically Hearthstone stuff, recently left after 12 years there. So another
I wonder if he's going to go to that the new studio of ex-Blizzard people.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. He just said that he's going off to another opportunity or whatever, so he hasn't really said what's happening yet, but another veteran gone down, so we'll see what happens. In more Blizzard news, this week, as in, I think 2 days ago, there was supposed to be the Shadowlands expansion released. I personally didn't know that it was pushed back, so I logged in and was like, "Oh, this thing's not out yet," and I had to look up an article about it.
This is for WoW, by the way.
This is for World of Warcraft.
Along at home.
Yeah, and they just released, I think, yesterday when Shadowlands is finally being released now, and it's November 23rd, so a month.
Did they say why it was delayed, or?
It doesn't seem.
I'm going to guess COVID.
Well, yeah, I figured as much, but you never know.
I don't. I'm just saying that's my guess. I don't see the reason in this article.
They say we've used the time to polish the expansion and shore up the end game, overhauling the combat and rewards in the Maw, which is a thing that they're including in here, reworking the Covenant systems, blah blah blah. So I guess just tightening stuff up is what they're saying. So yeah, there you go. Okay. So what else do we got?
All right, these are the ones I put in here, so I can take over. Ubisoft kind of did an update and delayed some games, specifically Far Cry 6 and Rainbow Six Quarantine are now going to release after April 2021, so outside of this fiscal year.
Okay.
They also kind of gave an update on, so here's the games that are coming out in this fiscal year. So I thought I would run through those so we can all just make sure we're up to date. They got Watch Dogs. I played 15 minutes of Watch Dogs, by the way.
Yeah. And?
Yeah.
How were those 15 minutes?
Game of the year? No, I don't know. I didn't bring it up because I haven't played enough.
I'm not hearing
I'll talk
great
about that
things.
next week, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Assassin's Creed, obviously. Just Dance 2021.
Okay.
Immortals Phoenix Rising. And then they have the Prince of Persia remaster in January and that Riders Republic game in February. That's
right.
what Ubisoft is doing in this fiscal quarter.
Right.
Speaking of Ubisoft, there's some kind of Assassin's Creed property happening with Netflix.
Oh, okay.
A Netflix original series. It's a live action series. Also the quote I'll read here is the deal for Assassin's Creed will also see Netflix and Ubisoft mine the game's trove of stories for other live action animated and anime series based on the global franchise.
Sure.
Which that just makes me say I need to watch that movie still.
Yeah, I heard that movie commits the biggest sin, and that it's just boring. It's not bad or good, it's just boring.
I never ended up watching it. I'm surprised I didn't watch it. That seems like something I definitely would have watched. I like Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, and you like Assassin's Creed.
I've played an Assassin's Creed game or two. That is true. I'm going to play this new one.
Does not confirm that he likes it, just that he's played them.
I played Ghost of Tsushima. That's basically an Assassin's Creed game. I like
Pretty
some
much.
Assassin's Creed. Yeah. Anyway, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
It doesn't get a Netflix deal at this point.
Yep.
Destruction All-Stars, one of, I think, only 3 exclusive PS5 games that were going to come out at launch for the PS5 has been delayed.
Great.
To February, which I think now means the PS5 will have 2 exclusive games on it. One of which is Astro's is it Playroom? What is it?
Yeah, Playroom.
Yep.
Playroom, pre-installed one that everyone gets, and the other one is Demon Souls. Those are the 2 PS5 exclusive games.
I'm so mad because one of them might fucking sell a console to me.
The system seller for you?
I'm so angry. I hate it so much.
So Destruction All-Stars was a full $70, maybe? I don't remember. That was a full price title. It is being pushed to February and will now be a part of PS Plus.
Okay. Neat.
That game looks like it should have been a part of PS Plus.
Yep, I agree. So
speaking of PS Plus, they're actually going to swap that game out. In November, they are adding Bug Snacks. So I'm super excited now because I was definitely going to pick this up on the PlayStation 5 and now it's PS Plus. Hell yeah.
God damn it.
Talking about Bug Snacks. Confirmed in the chat, it was a $70 title.
All right.
Hell yeah, Bug Snacks. Hell yeah, that developer's awesome. It's going to be part of the PS Plus collection, which we have the full list of now. So if you have PS Plus, you will be getting access to, and I'll just read down the whole list: Bloodborne, Days Gone, Detroit, God of War, Infamous Second Son, Ratchet and Clank, The Last Guardian, Last of Us Remastered, Until Dawn, Uncharted 4, and from third party, Arkham Knight, Battlefield 1, Black Ops 3, Zombies Chronicles Edition. That means something to someone. Great. The Crash trilogy, Fallout 4, Final Fantasy 15, Monster Hunter World, Mortal Kombat X, Persona 5, and Resident Evil 7.
That's a good amount of really good games.
Yeah.
If you missed the PS4, that's great for you. For me, it's like I'm getting access to like 1 or 2 games that I missed. Maybe. But again,
yeah, The Last Guardian is the only game listed here that I don't have. So, yeah. But I'm not
me,
the
it's
target
like,
market for
well,
this.
I guess I could play Days Gone if games stopped coming out.
I bought Days Gone on a sale for like $5. So
I've seen that game pretty cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all these games, these are old games. They are old games. A lot of them are like greatest hits, so they're extra cheap, yada yada.
Yep.
The big news here is that we now get Bug Snacks, so that's exciting.
Sure. Also, so that's PS5 only though for PS Plus.
The collection?
No.
I think it's
for PS Plus in November specifically. Everybody else gets Shadow of War and Hollow Knight. As PS5,
I don't think Bug Snacks is coming to the PS4. Bug Snacks is coming to the PC.
Right. What I'm saying is that if you have a PS4 and not a PS5, you do not get Bug Snacks in November for PlayStation Plus. You get Shadow of War and Hollow Knight, though, still.
I believe that is correct. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Can you claim it, though, even if you don't have a PS5? That I don't know.
I believe you can. I think you can claim stuff for your account still, and it'll
you should. So you should probably do that, and for when you eventually get a PS5, if you have that. Yeah.
All right, and a bit of info came out. Jim Ryan did an interview. He said a couple quotes I just wanted to read here so everyone's updated on how the PS5 is doing. He says that the company has pre-sold as many PS5 units in the first 12 hours of availability as it did in the first 12 weeks for the PS4.
Jesus.
Wow.
All right.
And what was I going to say? That stat is just specific for the US.
Okay.
I thought there was a couple more. Hey, let me look through this thread real quick. Guess not. Anyways, PS5 is hot property. People are buying it.
Yeah, I think also just before we like move on, because this is kind of the last PS5 news, systems have gone out to reviewers and stuff and people have been talking about it. Apparently that controller is fucking amazing. People are saying, like, I can't remember who, but somebody at a publication was quoted as saying something like, there's 2 next-gen systems, there's only 1 next-gen controller coming out though, because like that controller,
I mean, I guess that actually does make sense. There's nothing new for the Xbox, really.
Right. But apparently that controller is like something special that people are saying.
Very cool. Yeah, the rumbles apparently real cool. The triggers are very cool. I'm excited to try it out. And Astro apparently is like the tech demo to show off the controller, which is great because I'm excited to play Astro.
Yeah,
that's it. Astro is a good game.
Yeah. So that was weirdly exciting to me to hear, because I heard that from like people who just kind of don't talk about little shit like controllers anymore. So,
well, I think that was also because the embargo was up for talking about the unboxing as well as the controller. So it's just there's so little they can talk about. They're going to talk about what they can, and one of those is the controller. So that may have also kind of been.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
All right, Gears 5, not Gears of War 5. Gears 5 is getting more content later this year. It's getting New Game Plus. It's adding Batista into the campaign. So from what I understand, they're just swapping the model of Marcus out. Now Batista's doing all of that.
Yeah, but it's also the dialogue. He's also, all the dialogue is replaced with him.
Right. It just seems crazy to me. Like, what? It's just this character was doing this stuff now.
Why not?
Sure, I haven't seen that before, but yeah, okay. Operation 5 brings Versus changes, okay? And then there's also going to be story DLC, which is coming. This tweet says later this year, which seems crazy to me because it's like November already. You think we would have known about some story DLC, but anyway, I'll play some more Gears 5 story content, sure. I will not play through it again as Batista. Sorry, Batista.
Poor Batista.
I mean, hey, I like
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I do like that. That's not the one I was gonna say. What is the Cyberpunk one? Harrison Ford.
Oh, Blade Runner 2049.
I like Blade Runner 2049 as much as the next person.
2089, whichever one.
I'll just cut out that gap where I couldn't remember the movie in post, and then I'll put the podcast up. So
yeah,
it'll seem like I got it. Yep. Apex Legends is coming to Steam on November 4th. The Switch version is delayed to next year.
Okay.
November 4th is also the new season, so great time to jump in.
Oh,
last year's game of the year.
Also, I didn't pull this, but I thought it was kind of interesting. No Man's Sky is getting a huge graphical update for PC because the next gen systems, it was made for next gen. Anybody who has it is getting the free upgrade when they go to PS5 or Xbox, and it looks like really, really nice now. So another huge update from No Man's Sky. Crazy.
Nice.
Yeah.
For free, that's great. Good for them, man.
Up to 4K. Like, they complete overhaul. Looks really nice.
Let's do some questions. If you want to send a question in, it's topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. I'll read this first one from Cody. Just for fun, let's have everyone go in order saying a game they would like a remake of. Okay, so okay. And then the next person has to come up with something to ruin that remake. For example, Borderlands remake. but all NPCs are replaced with Claptrap.
Oof.
Okay, Sean, you start.
A game I would like a remaster of.
Yeah.
Okay. Asura's Wrath.
Okay, John, you ruin it.
Asura's Wrath, but no one yells.
But they solve their differences with words.
They work out their problem
instead of fighting. They talk it out.
That's really good.
Okay, John, you pick a game you want to remaster of.
God Hand.
They have to ruin it.
God Hand. There's a half-second delay between every input.
Ugh,
All right.
that works. That does ruin it.
Paul?
A remake of... Oh, shit. Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater.
Snake Eater, okay. Took out the ladder boss.
Yeah, unplayable. You're right.
They just made it into a short thing of stairs. They figured no one wants to climb this ladder for this long.
Yeah. That's a funny question. I like that one.
The boss takes off the mask. It's also Raiden underneath.
Oh my god.
Every character was riding the whole time.
Oh my god, after 5 minutes, you no longer are playing as Big Boss, it's Raiden. Easy.
Yep.
Easy ruin. Alright, next question from Suku. Oh no! A supervillain went back in time, killed Rob before he could ever be, leading up to a cascading effect in the video game market. Nintendo never established in North America, PlayStation never came to be, Microsoft stuck to computers. Console gaming as a whole just remained a niche Japanese thing for the longest time. Where would you be in this alternate world?
That is a question. Wow.
I think PC gaming would have still taken off.
PC gaming would have been the exact same. I played PC growing up. I'd be in the exact same spot without console stuff.
Well, I think it would be like bolstered further.
Yeah, more indie stuff.
More people would just have turned to the PC because they didn't have, like, Nintendo would be on the PC. Yada yada.
Yeah, I'd probably be richer from all the consoles I didn't have to buy because I had one.
Yeah. So I would probably be
more, I guess.
Probably know a lot more about PCs and building PCs and gaming on the PC. I probably would have just put all that effort into PC as my thing.
Sure.
I would have gone outside more. That's pretty much the takeaway.
Yeah.
Right.
Also,
I didn't get a computer till 98. So like, or 99, 2000. So like, I wouldn't have had anything. Who knows where the fuck I would be doing? Maybe I would have gotten really into board games.
Yeah.
Sure.
More tabletop stuff for sure.
Rasterman writes in and says, have you ever used an item for so long that when people ask you how long you had it for, the answer surprises them?
So he had like another thing that was added onto this. For him, it was something about like a pencil case that he had for 6 years or something like that. So
my wife is surprised I still have a working phone after 5 years. So
an item so long, people.
The podcast I started in high school.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is it a good one?
I don't think I have any. Like, I guess I still have like all my original systems and stuff, and they still work fine because anytime they've broken down, I've taken them apart.
I think the blanket I have brought from when I was living up there. I think I had this blanket in high school, so I've had this blanket for a while, and it's not like a sentimental blanket. It's just works. It covers the bed.
Yeah, I think I have a few blankets like that too, that I had growing up that I just still have because why throw out a perfectly good blanket?
I have this PC I've had forever, but I've been slowly upgrading the model stuff inside of it. But I got this PC in 2012, so 8 years.
Yeah. I would say
I
no.
have a Mario placemat that I had since I was 4.
Okay,
It's over there on my coffee table.
That would definitely fit this. I don't think I have an item that surprises people when I say how long I've had it, though.
What about one like that you use though, as opposed to just like I'm keeping this because it's so old. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's on my coffee table right now, so it is still being used.
Okay, yeah, sure. I think that counts. Yeah. I guess I'm using my blanket, so that's probably like the oldest thing. VGC Kenny writes, in Persona 5 Royal, they added some new songs to the soundtrack, including one titled I Believe. In my opinion, I Believe is probably the best song in the game. However, it plays as you enter the new palace on the final day before you fight the boss. This means that most people would hear the song for about 30 seconds as they warp to the boss room and go confront the boss. What other best songs in video games are hidden or easily glossed over?
Oh my god, I'm trying to think of video game music now.
SteamWorld. What was the latest Quest? That was the latest one, the deck building one, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The final boss has a few forms, and the second last part, I think the music in that rocked. Then the last form that you spend more time on was not as good.
Oh, okay.
What are the best things in video games are hidden or easily glossed over? I like the fact that there's a secret ending in, was it Far Cry 3, where like the main bad guy goes away and says, all right, I'll be back in like 20 minutes. And if you wait those 20 minutes, you get the ending of the game. I think that's hilarious. Yeah.
Yep.
I like that. Yeah, that secret ending. Good. Oh yeah, this is things, not songs. Best things in video games. Oh,
Yeah.
art assets.
Doesn't have to just be songs.
Art assets,
But
for
art
sure.
assets are not cool.
Yeah, okay. Easily glossed over, like somebody spent like a month coding something and making something look really, really cool so that you can run through it in a minute. Like that shit happens all the time.
Sure. I just say like all of Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2 was very
so
much like, yeah, this is a cool thing. You're
like,
gonna
here's
use
something
it once.
super cool. Yeah, we're gonna use it once. We're moving on.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yep.
But we are not gonna let this get boring. Let's go. So they just keep doing that. There's like 8 parts in that game that are so cool.
Yep.
Different. I mean, it's kind of just like a hit, like an Easter egg. What's the best Easter egg? And I always liked the Lost references back when that show was still on. In Singularity, that X-Men Origins even has a Lost reference, which is crazy to think of.
Yeah, X-Men Origins has a few different Easter eggs that are kind of neat. There's a World of Warcraft Easter egg in there too. Like there's weird shit in that game.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's a neat game.
Well, aren't they both made by Raven? That's kind of why it was.
So.
Like people at Raven Software before they made exclusively Call of Duty maps, they watched a lot of Lost.
Yeah.
They made Singularity. Yeah.
And they made Singularity. Okay, Linebeck has 2 questions. First one, sour candy, yay or nay?
Yay.
I'm a yes. I'm a yay.
No. Well, it depends how sour, but like a little bit, sure. I'm not. Reese loves super sour candy. I can't do it.
Yeah,
super sour.
That's true. I won't eat Warheads. Like that's too much for me.
Warheads. I used to do it. Yep.
I hate them.
Yeah, Warheads.
So you know what? I'll say nay then.
You guys know slush puppies?
Yes. Yep.
Slush puppies are like really bad Slurpees.
Yeah.
Like, someone offers you a slush puppy, say no. You don't want a slush puppy.
They know
it's
to
a waste
slush
of time.
puppies. Yeah.
They know to slush puppies. We had a slush puppy machine in my school, and we would like squirt in the flavor and then fill it up with like the ice and the slush. But you could also squirt in the sour. We used to just drink that.
Gross. Oh, that's so
It's like, how many did you do? I'm gonna do 50 shots of sour slush. We're doing it.
Oh,
Like, it was like a
God.
thing you would do.
gross.
Oh yeah.
All right, second question. What would you say is the easiest way to convince you to try a game? Music normally does it for me, he says.
Gameplay.
Easiest way to convince
What do
me.
they have to say about it? Like, it has good gameplay.
It's similar to X game or Y game.
Okay.
Honestly, the easiest way to convince me to try a game is to tell me it's free or has a demo, rather than just like having.
Yeah,
to
if you
buy
put it on Game Pass, there's a good chance
Yeah.
I will download it at the very least onto
Yep.
my hard drive. Yeah, if the art's really cool, like if I see a short video or a GIF of something that looks real cool, I'll do it.
Yep.
But if you tell me like it's doing something like unique, that'll definitely pique my interest.
Yeah, for sure.
Could also tell me the developer, and some developers I'll just be like, yes, I want to see what they're doing next.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
All right, John, why don't you take this next one?
All right. Pico Troy sends in and says, what is a game that you played at least a year after its release that you were surprised you stayed spoiler free on? There's two questions, but we'll start with that one.
Until it was ruined for me, I didn't play Persona 4 until like 3 years ago, and I had no idea what was going on in it. And then it was ruined for me as I was playing it, because of course I was.
Yeah, I actually don't know like the stories of any of the Persona games, so I'm still good on those. Trying to keep it to games I actually want to play. Otherwise, I could just say random games.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
The Yakuza stuff, I'm in the dark for, so I'm very happy about that.
Sure.
I even don't know the full thing to Horizon Zero Dawn, which I'm very excited to get back and play that before the sequel.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what it is.
Oh, but hang on, this is a game that you did play at least a year after its release.
Yeah.
So none of those.
Okay.
Chrono Cross for me, since I beat that a couple months ago and it never knew anything about the story.
Yeah.
I don't really play games that have been out for that long. I guess Horizon will be a good answer when I go back and play it.
Sure.
Maybe like Mass Effect 1. I went back to Mass Effect 1 and I didn't know what happened there. So maybe that's a good answer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay, second question. Are there any games from your childhood that you've never been able to find again? Like an old PC game that you're only pretty sure actually existed?
Yes, there is. I remember.
Yes, too.
I remember a game as a kid, specifically on the Mega Drive, that I played at my cousin's house, where you're in a haunted mansion of some sort. There's different rooms that you explore, and every now and then a monster would come out of one of the like doors you could go into and chase you a little bit and then go away. And every time I try to look this up, I get results for like, I think there's a game literally called like Haunted Mansion or something. It's not that. I get a bunch of like Castlevania stuff. It's not Castlevania. I can't find this fucking thing no matter what. And I'm wondering if I'm getting it mixed up with like two different games in my head or something. But it's been driving me crazy at least for 20 years. At least. So, yes.
I just got reminded of a game I played in grade 4 and 5 on the computer that we had in our classroom named Digger.
Okay.
It was a ripoff of Mr. Do. Like you dug around in the dirt picking up gems, you dropped money bags on monsters, and if you ate enough dirt, you had a fireball you could fire off. I just remembered that, and of course, it has a wiki page. So I'm reliving that right now. But
kind of in the middle of that crisis right now.
Yeah. But there was like a bunch of Flash games I used to play too that I forgot about. I'm remembering them all now because I'm going through this question, like Snowcraft. Comedy Central's website used to have a bunch of South Park Flash games you could play.
Yep, I played those.
I definitely spent a good chunk of time on I think it was just Disney's Flash website. There was a Tarzan game. There was also, you could go to Wonka.com, and it was just Willy Wonka themed Flash games with Oompa Loompas and shit.
Holy shit, I've played Digger. I just looked it up. I recognize this shit.
Nice.
Weird. Okay. In that same respect, do you remember... I'm trying to think of the other ones. There's, Reader Rabbit was one of the, edutainment ones. Jezball was huge for us. Jezball was huge. Sim Ant was huge for us.
Sim Ant, I never played Sim Ant. I know it had a SNES version. I think I have it, but I never played it growing up. Or at all, for that matter.
Man. Jezball, though. I'm going to download Jezball.
I always forget Rolling Thunder 2 for the Sega Genesis. I played a lot of, but that game just constantly leaves my mind. The one that's really what is the name of this game? Was it even a real game or just some Flash game? It was on one of those 100 arcade games on one disc things that I got because those are some of the first games I played, because my dad just bought a couple of those, so I'd have a bunch of games. And it was this weird platformer where your character looked like a little red mailbox, and it was called Arrow or Arrow or something like that. And I've definitely talked about this on the podcast before, because I specifically remember actually finding screenshots for it after we recorded one time, but I can't remember how I even did that. Played a lot of that game. Right. Final Insanity writes, does Pokemon qualify as a collectathon? If not, what is it missing to earn the label?
So I say no, and the reason being is that the whole reason Pokemon exists isn't just to collect them, because you can beat that game with one Pokemon.
Specifically, they collectathon usually is referred to like a platformer, so you have you don't have to go through any extra process of getting things. You find things lying around that you just kind of grab without having to go through menus or anything. You just
like a Pokemon. You find a Pokemon lying
you got to go through a menu.
You grab it.
You got to go through a whole process for that.
I think the difference is that a collectathon gates progress based on how many things you've collected. You can't go in here until you have 100 shines or something like that.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point. Yeah, Pokemon doesn't really gate you like that per se.
Yeah, just a bit. It's more of a Metroidvania if you really want to be pedantic about it, because you have to get different skills to open up new parts of the map and move between them. I want to say
in one of the Pokemons would gate you. It was if you hadn't seen enough Pokemon, they would look at your Pokedex.
Maybe for extra stuff, not for the actual game.
No, I think he's actually right.
Oh, I think it was the actual game. Yeah, I want to say this was one of the early gens.
It's Gen 1 or 2 did something like that. You needed 30 Pokemon before they would let you through something.
Yeah.
I think it was literally into a new area. Or they would to get an item like the bicycle. It was something like that. But I think you needed the bike.
A
lot of people saying Gen 1.
Okay.
Then Gen 1 is a collectathon.
I think collectathons typically are platformers. I can't think of a collectathon that is not a platformer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't either. All right, easy question. Hebrew Lantern says, all cereal box characters, Toucan Sam, Tony the Tiger, Lucky, etc., enter a coliseum. Only one exit's alive.
Count Chocula, he's a vampire.
See, I'm thinking Tony the Tiger, because that dude was ripped.
Yeah, I was gonna say Tony, but then I'm wait, no, there's Count Chocula, Frankenberry. There's monsters they have to fight.
One exit's alive. Are they alive? Like the Booberry.
Oh, that's cheating though. That's cheating.
I get it. The other thing I was thinking though is Lucky is magic.
Yeah.
I don't care how strong you are. Lucky can
But his
actually do
magic
spells.
consistently fails in the commercials, though. He constantly screws up his magic.
All right.
That's true. Okay, so Lucky's definitely out.
Okay, so
There's
who
no
gets
way
just completely
I don't-
murdered?
The regular mascots, Tony's definitely got the best chance. Like Toucan Sam is probably in trouble, but he can also fly, so he might be okay. The Trix Rabbit is screwed.
Yeah, fuck that guy anyways. He
Can't do
keeps stealing
anything.
The
tricks.
best the Trix Rabbit can do is make a costume that people figure out in like 5 seconds.
What about Sugar Crisp Bear? He's dead, right? Like he's just mauled
He's
to
still
death.
a bear. The honeycomb
still a
bee is
bear.
also, or the honey nut Cheerios bee is also probably in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna list off a
bee.
few of them, and I want a yes or no if they're gonna do well. Okay, Captain Crunch.
No.
There's no way he gets to bring his boat in. He's screwed.
Even with a boat, what are you gonna do? He can't lift up a boat.
If he's got his boat, he's still got cannons.
I think
True.
you could get around a boat. It's a boat not in the water.
You still get cannons. Cannons don't need water to work.
I don't think he does good. What do you think? Yes or no? He does a good.
I
job.
think he does bad.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying
Okay.
he gets cannons.
All right. The Cuckoo for Cocoa Buffs bird? What is that guy?
Oh yeah, no. That guy's worse than Toucan Sam.
He's done.
Yeah.
He's done.
Yeah, he's done.
Toucan probably betrays him.
Yeah.
Fred and Barney Flintstone.
Oh, they're fucked.
They're strong because they're cavemen, but
They are
also
strong.
they're
Remember
they're
how
regular
strong they are?
humans.
I don't think they do very well because they are regular.
I think they do better than most of the regular mascots until we get to like Tony
Sure.
onwards.
Sure.
Okay, the bear from Golden Crisp.
I gotta look that one up. I don't remember Golden Crisp.
He just looks like
That's
a
not
bear.
the Sugar Crisp bear.
This
Yeah.
I looked at this list. It says Golden Crisp and there's a bear.
That is the same bear.
Okay, maybe they changed the name.
It's just Sugar Bear.
It's probably because they didn't want the name. They want sugar in the name, right? Okay, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. You can put them all in one. I will accept that.
No, they're screwed.
I don't think
Yeah.
they're.
They're already small as it is. They're like child
The
size.
Keebler
They're
elves
smaller,
kick the
aren't they?
shit out of them, so they have no chance.
I think okay. There's what's the frog? Honey Smacks the frog.
Sugar
What's that
Smacks.
his name? Sugar Smacks. I don't think he does very well. So is it just come down to like Count Chocula versus Tony the Tiger?
I mean, don't forget like Frankenberry and all those other monsters.
I don't think I've ever seen Frankenberry. What does Frankenberry look like?
It's
he's-
the
he's-
Frankenstein monster. Essentially.
I've never actually seen this.
oh,
Never seen this
okay.
guy. Okay, out of the three of them,
What are the monster cereals? I can only remember a couple of them. Boo Berry, is that one of them?
it's Blueberry.
Yeah,
sounds
Blueberry is
like
Count
one of them.
Chocula, Frankenberry, Fruit Brute, Yummy
The Honey Nut
Mummy,
Cheerios
and
bee.
Boo
He's on
Berry.
two. I mean, I'm so out of those five. I'm gonna give it either Frankenberry or Count Chocula. Although a ghost. Well, do you again? Think a Frankenstein could beat up a tiger? I don't think so.
oh yeah, no. Frankenstein's monster could totally beat up Tony the Tiger, even a buff tiger like Tony.
I don't like. He's slow.
But he's got
He's not a
power
fighter.
though.
So does a tiger. This tiger
I
works
thi-
out.
So I think out of the monster cereals, it's Frankenberry. I don't think Frankenberry stands up to. Frankenberry is the representative for Monsters Incorporated cereals, but
Okay.
I think he probably loses in the final fight.
To Tony the Tiger?
I think
don't
this
know.
is Count Chocula.
I guess
versus
Tony does know
Tony.
how to use machines and like sporting equipment and stuff like that, so he could just bring a gun.
All right, let me bring this up
I
to
feel
you.
like that's against the spirit.
The
though.
criminals
Yeah, I
from
don't know.
Cookie Crisp that break out of prison because, I don't know, they put cookies in
They
cereal.
would win simply because they would escape the arena and run away.
They're
That's the only
criminals.
reason
They
win.
have criminal underground connections. They put a
But
hit
they're
on Tony the
thieves. That's all
Tiger.
they're straight up thieves.
There's a Sugar Bear fucking head in Tony the Tiger's bed. He doesn't show up that day. That's what I'm saying.
You can't escape. This is a fight to the death, and nothing else in the world matters. Like this, one of these people have to die. Oh, there can only be one alive. I think this is how it goes. Like no matter what, they will fight. They're not bringing guns. It is you get what is part of you, what is part of your character. If you're a serial mascot with a gun, you can have a gun. I don't see any.
I don't think they have.
I think this comes down to, can a vampire beat a tiger in a fight?
I think the vampire's got that one, honestly.
Yeah,
Vampire
maybe.
can fly. He can fly. Vampire, like, it's like, what kind of vampires? Is it like the really strong vampires?
I don't think Count Chocula looks like a strong vampire.
This vampire, can they not be in the sun? Can Tony use that to his advantage?
Hold on. Is there a sun?
Is Tony's so fit and has so much stamina, he's going to stall the fight for 24 hours or 12 hours so the sun comes up?
What's the weakness of a tiger?
A gun.
Can't use a gun. Count Chocula does not have a gun.
I don't know, man. Just generally dying.
You know what? I'm looking at Count Chocula properties over the years. He's never shown in the sun on anything, so I think he can't be in the sun.
So Count Chocula would have to bring him into like a building or something, right? Into a cave, some kind of shaded area,
or at least like have an umbrella or something for sure.
I think Tony is allowed to use sporting equipment because, like, I'm looking at a picture of him with a baseball bat. He is allowed to whack Count Chocula.
If we're letting Tony use a baseball bat, then he's got a pretty fucking huge advantage.
He's seen with it. It's part of his character. I'm saying is, if Tony the Tiger found a baseball bat, I am okay with him picking it up and hitting Count Chocula with it. That's what he does.
I just saw a picture of Tony the Tiger with a bow.
Okay, so
that
now
he's gonna eat good tonight. He's hunting them all down.
He could stake Count Chocula in the heart. Like,
also,
he now has the ability.
Can we just think for a moment? It's a fucking tiger. They're one of the scariest animals in real life. And this one can wear hockey pads to reduce the amount of blows to his body. Tony the Tiger definitely wins.
This tiger is smart enough to actually put armor on when it gets in a dangerous situation.
I'm looking at him right now from a commercial still where he's wearing a fucking hockey helmet. He just covered up his most vulnerable part of his body. I think Tony wins.
I think Tony takes it. Tony takes it. Like,
I still think he wouldn't beat a Frankenstein's monster, but he would definitely be at least second place.
Okay, all right. So we're all agreeing he'll beat Count Chocula?
Yeah, I think so.
Assuming Count Chocula does not have full vampire powers and is just like a vampire of chocolate, then yes.
He has chocolate vampire powers. They call me the vampire of chocolate.
Holy shit.
Right.
Oh my god.
I don't remember whose question's next.
I don't either.
Or who reads it next.
John,
I think
you're next. Yeah.
Rinku ends us off with Age of Calamity's demo dropping. What's your favorite demo? What's that one for? I think it was Bulletstorm. Duty Calls. It was a promo game that was not at all the game.
I was gonna say, was that for Bulletstorm? I thought that was just a separate random thing.
That was a thing. That was a promo game for Bulletstorm.
Okay, that was a good one.
The obvious one is
there was a Crackdown. Stanley Parable,
because it's its own game essentially.
Oh, people are asking, does PT count?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. I was gonna say just Crackdown 1, just because of how much of a surprise that was for Halo 3 owners.
Sure.
Oh, PT is a good point too. PT was a demo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I really like the Metal Gear Solid 1 demo. That was like mind blowing back in the PlayStation days.
Right, there's a bunch of demos. That's going to do it for the questions. If you would like to send a question for next week, it is topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Twitter, the Discord channel, or John's P.O. Box. What is your game of the week?
Hades.
Part-time UFO.
I'm going to give it to Carto.
Nice.
And all right, if you're a Patreon subscriber, stay tuned. We are going to be going live with our Hades episode of TDP Plus shortly after this. Otherwise, excited for November because the winner is Mega Man 11. So we'll be playing through that next month and discussing it later on. Anyways, we will see you next week. Have a good Halloween.
Bye, everybody.